Good morning, everybody. I hope this video finds you well. I'm on the tail end of my holiday. This is a Chinese holiday. As I've said before, this is the Chinese version of the 4th of July. It's Independence Day, only China celebrates it for 10 days instead of one day like they do in the United States. Excuse me. We've been having unusual weather here lately. Normally the temperatures at this time of the year in Zhuhai, Zhongshan, are very comfortable, 21 to 25 degrees, 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Very comfortable. They've been in the 90s, high 80s, low 90s. It's pretty warm. As such, I've had the air conditioner on, and I think I caught myself a little chest cold from my daughter, so my voice is a little harsh. I haven't been posting because, as I've said before, I've been banned because I responded to a Quora comment, and I attached my one of my YouTube videos, and the angered person contacted YouTube, said that I was spreading medical misinformation, which I wasn't, and so on and so forth. And that's life in the United States. You can't really say things. I don't care how they justify it. Don't care how you justify it. If your speech is throttled, you don't have freedom of speech. End of story. You either can speak freely or you can't. There is no in between. The mere fact that I'm seeing a lot of Americans justify why freedom of speech can be throttled tells me, they say, well, you can't yell fire in a movie theater. Wrong. You can yell fire in a movie theater. There will be consequences for it. All right, that's enough of this digression. Today, I want to talk a little bit about building blocks. It's so easy for us to imagine and get so wrapped up in this reality that surrounds us. It becomes everything. Your senses, you are in a mechanism, you are in a machine, you are in a physical body. And the senses are your I/O. There's no other I/O. You can't see radar. You can't sense whether or not there's an earthquake going to be coming tomorrow. You can't, because your human body is limited in its ability to sense the reality. That's done intentionally. Evolutionists will say that it's because the need of survival. You don't need to know these things, or if you did need to know them, they have atrophied over the years. While Ariel might say, well, we were all built that way intentionally. I don't know. He said, she says, who knows what the hell. All I know is we don't have that ability. So therefore, we are really caught up in this understanding, whatever it may be, of how the universe works. And we all see the world around us, and we say we're part of that world because our senses tell us we're part of that world, but it's really not the case. These are building blocks. I often use these little things as representation of organized quanta. You get a quanta, it comes together and interfaces with another quanta, and creates a building block, which then interfaces with other building blocks to create a quantum particle. That's all stuff that I pretty much discussed about it. Now, these things are beyond time and space. They do not recognize physical space. They do not recognize time. They're transdimensional. They're a thing that we can't even comprehend, but we're made up of lots of them. We're made up of lots of them, and that is an important point. And we have to understand that our consciousness, the makeup of our consciousness, is not associated with the individual parts. The makeup of our consciousness is associated with the interaction between the parts. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, guys. Let's go one more time, because that's the whole point of this. Our consciousness is not the formation of this quanta and that quanta, how it communicates. It's the interaction of them. It's not how it communicates, it's that it communicates. That's what forms consciousness. Now, this is a mind-blowing understanding. And chances are most of you in the audience will be like, so what? Well, actually, at a level, you really don't really care about how it works, right? I mean, you don't really care about that you're all made up of little tiny parts. But what you do care about, and what you should care about, is that consciousness is not the individual pieces. Consciousness is how the individual pieces fit together. In this case, we got these little holes, and they fit together like that. Here's the second mind-blowing thing. All interactions between you and your environment, as well as between you and your spouse, or between you and your friends, or between you and your pets or your cats or whatever, all interactions are fundamentally based upon the same constructions that your consciousness is, which is these little connectors. That's how that works. So, let's suppose that you have met somebody that you just despise. You don't know why you despise them. You don't like their point of view. You don't like their frame of mind. They remind you of somebody else. Yada, yada, yada. The point is, these connectors don't fit. They're absent. And you repel like a magnet. Boy, that's a simplistic description if I ever heard one, but that's the way it works, guys. And likewise, you find a mate or something, and you just click, and suddenly you've got something. Soul or consciousness, and when you're in the universe and soul, and you create this template, this reality template that you are part of, establishes the building blocks of quanta within that template, and thus establishes who you will associate with and who you won't associate with. In other words, your pre-birth world line template also contains the colors that are attracted to you and the colors that repel away from you, using these blocks as an example. And you're going to say, okay, Robert, okay, MM, I get it. I understand it. I understand everything you're saying. So what? So what? What does it matter? You see, whenever I describe pre-birth world line templates, I always show it as like a map. But there's no fundamental difference between a pre-birth world line template and the quantum building blocks of soul. They are just different arrangements of the same thing. And so the soul can create these pre-birth world line templates, making sure that round holes are what you attracted to and square pegs are what you are repelled with. And that way, when you have the pre-birth world line template, you will be attracted to certain people, get in relationships with certain people, and marry certain kinds of people, and whatever happens afterwards, while in other times, you're not. And if you angered your man-ted, perhaps, they might have a world where you are a square peg. We're in a world of circular holes. And that is your situation where you're constantly fighting and trying to deal with things. So again, I'm going to say it again. It is these connectors that define your consciousness. Not the block itself. I need a cup of coffee, and I'm sorry for my hoarse throat. God, I'm probably driving you guys nuts. All right. And I'm going to go on in more detail on all this in the future, because it's a very, very fundamental aspect of how consciousness works and how you can control and alter your reality. Once you understand that you're the connectors, then you understand the mechanism behind things and why they work certain ways. And at that, people, I'll let it be for right now. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you learned something out of this. I hope you recognize the importance of what I'm trying to say. A lot of people won't. They'll be like, so what? It's the connector on a block. So what? I'm a block. I'm a connector on a block. Who gives a damn? And I'm here to tell you that you really need to give a damn. Okay? Those of you who work in automotive industries or who have worked with tools know the difference between metric threads and American standard threads. The two do not fit together. And that's what these connectors are. Only there's not just two types, there's a whole bunch of different types, different shades. That's the way it works. Okay, so hope you all take care. I hope you have a nice October. I hope it cools off a little bit. Maybe it's a good thing everything's warm for those poor souls that have moronic leaders, and they're going to be freezing this winter. I hope it's nice and warm for you guys, so you don't freeze. In any event, guys, I just wish you all the best. Please take care, and know that, well, I believe in you. That's why.